Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the Trimco. This is their part number 1097HA is what this is. 1097HA. This is one of their anti-vandal trims. And there is a suite of anti-vandal trims available from Trimco, and this is one derivative of those. Specifically, what comes to mind immediately is that this is one without a latch protector functionality or without an astragal. So anti-vandal trim gives you the ability to not only pull the door open generally, anti-vandal trim generally will give you a confluence of pulling the door open, but also closing off the seam between the edge of the door and the frame so that you can't get in there and manipulate anything. This is not such a model. This is the 1097 that is without astragal. A 1096 HA would be the anti-vandal trim or pull with an astragal. This is this model specifically features this coating that we can see here. Okay. And they call that a plasticol coating. Plasticol, P-L-A-S-T-I-C-O-L, keeps insulated against heat and cold. There's no question that if you go up to a piece of 100 thousandths thick stainless steel, or forgive me, it's eighth of an inch, 0.125, in Phoenix in August, it's not going to be comfortable to pull that door open. Bottom line, nor should you be trying to pull on something like this in Chicago, where it's been polar vortex for 2 weeks straight. So this plastic hole coating is going to keep that usable so that you can actually grab that handle without scorching your hands with the heat or potentially causing them harm in the extreme cold. So this is 1/8 inch 316 stainless is what this is. This is an incredibly high caliber stainless steel. Substantially more appropriate for those applications that are exterior, and of course an anti-vandal trim like this is probably going to certainly be exterior. It is ADA compliant and vandal resistant. I would say that it's going to take its vandal resistance from the fact that there's nothing out here to grab onto. You'll have a cylinder, but you're going to be through bolted through the door. Okay. You know, I don't really think this is going to, because of the application to the door and how robust it is via the 4 through bolt holes that are coming through here, I would agree that this would be vandal resistant. Obviously, pulling on this can certainly result in damaging the hardware itself, but I'm going to think that the amount of pounds of pull force required to pull a door open against its latch bolt will surely exceed the bolts that are holding this in. But, you know, I would think someone going to try to put a chain around this and then to the bumper of a truck and pull away, it's probably just going to rip the brazing that's done back here, would be my guess. That would probably be where it would fail, if at all. And I'm not saying that it would. But I have seen chains on door locks in trucks. ADA compliant, vandal resistant plastic hole on this model. Design prevents attack on exterior cylinder with wrench or pliers and guards against being pulled off by ropes or chains. Okay, I didn't even see that coming. I don't know exactly how they guard against that, but they may guard against it by the point of failure, the potential failure that I just mentioned. Available with or without an astragal. This is the 1097 HA without. The ultimate in flexibility, can be mated to exit devices, mortise locks, or cylindrical locks. You bet. You bet it can be. The fact of the matter is, this trim was sent to us by Trimco in error, and we notified them of, hey, I think you shipped it to the wrong place. And they said, oh yeah, we did. Here's a label. So before it's going back to Trimco, I think it was a sample for architectural review, I'm making a video of it, they have this indicated as right-hand reverse, and this is most certainly a right-hand reverse pull application. I don't know what the 661366 means. That could be an internal number. It could have something to do with the preparation or the templating of where exactly that hole is going to be prepped for the cylinder. The fact of the matter is, I don't know what this is prepped for. It could certainly be prepped for a mortise exit device. The relationship between the location of the bolts and the location of the mortise cylinder could all conspire to be something for a particular piece of hardware. This could also just be 4 holes going through a door, and all you have is a cylinder that is going to go to a night latch. Or, well, I suppose it could be a night latch with a holdback. It could also be a mortise lock. It could be a slam-style deadbolt. It could be a deadbolt itself, where all you're doing is running a mortise cylinder through the outside of the door. So when they say it can be mated to exit devices, that's going to mean that generally what you'll find is what you would want is that the location of the through bolts are going to mate with the locations of the head case of the panic. And if you're using a rim device, surface vertical rod, mortise style device, if it's a mortise device, your mortise case will obviously fit between these bolts. But in a surface vertical rod, a concealed vertical rod rim device, you're going to locate that cylinder prep so it mates with the head case and then in relationship to where all that's going to work together. For a mortise lock, again, absolutely. Where is this going to go? Center your body. Well, you position your body within this space so that your cylinder is prepped in the right location. A cylindrical lock, I don't really know how this might mate to a cylindrical lock. Yeah, I'm going to have to think about that one. Don't know how a cylindrical lock is going to work on that. Now, there are some links below this video to the... let's take a look at some of those links. Now, the first link is going to be to the product brochure. And looking at the product brochure, we've covered much of what's on there. The 316 stainless, it is 1/8 of an inch. It's used ideally in those applications where you expect heavy use or even vandalistic type use. There are no exposed fasteners, and that certainly does serve to make it vandal resistant. This can be manufactured of different base materials: brass, bronze, or stainless. This is 316 stainless. Brass or bronze is going to give you, or will afford you, the ability to order it in any architectural finish that you want. Okay, your brasses, your bronze, your chromes, your satin, your polished, your oil rubbed, powder coated options as well. Obviously, well, I suppose you could do powder coat. I would think that this process is after this is finished. So if you wanted black, you could probably powder coat that black, all of this. You know what? I'll even go well, I was going to say, I don't know how much of this they can plastic coat. If you wanted it, I guess, black, you might plastic coat the entire face. But powder coating, that is something that Trimco can do. I've had them powder coat handles for me in the past, and it's worked out really well. Lifetime mechanical warranty, limited warranty on the finish. This is type 316 stainless. This certainly does appear to have just a brushed finish on it. Satin brushed finish over solid stainless is the most durable finish that exists. It's the most durable natural finish that you can obtain. So if you're looking for the finish that's going to last the longest, solid stainless is it. 316 is certainly far superior to 304 stainless. And if you were to search online, you'll find documentation that studies the resistance that 316 has to your coastal exposure, your exterior environmental exposure. 316 is marine grade type applications. Meets California State Prison strength tests. Okay, there must be a standard that defines that. I'm unaware of it. You will see in that product brochure of page 2 where they define the other pull types, and then your options. You can have a flush cylinder or no cylinder prep, or a special, and even do these back to back. This can be done back to back. You might have yourself, you might have a door that's got an aluminum storefront, and you want to put a cylinder hole out here, you want to put a thumb turn prep out here, but you still want back-to-back trim. They can position this wherever you need. Obviously, be mindful of the width of this. It would not fit on an arrow style. But you can do all kinds of stuff. Being Trimco, they can accommodate these special requests. And the finishes, they only list 605 polished brass, 612 satin bronze, and then your 630 stainless steel sort of material, and then special finishes. They will certainly entertain. You want oil rub bronze, they will entertain that. There's no question about that. The placement of this cylinder hole will have to be positioned to suit your application, and that can certainly be accommodated. There's also a link below this video to the template. And the template is awfully handy because it's going to lay out the dimensions of everything for you. And let's test the dimensions now. Here you go, Trimco. I'm going to hold it upside down. 11-inch overall height, yeah, that makes sense. Let's get it back right side up. They are going to put us at... I want to test their math. They're not giving us the location of the top holes very easily. The top of the plate to these first bolts should be 5/8 of an inch, according to the math on the template. Yeah, that's indeed the case. They're going to have a center to center of 1 3/4 inches. I would say that would be accurate as well. They're going to go 3 3/8 from the top of the plate to the center of the cylinder per the drawing, and that is indeed what we're dealing with here. So this might be a more garden variety style, where it's going to match that template, because the template doesn't tell us what they're mating to, if anything. It could just be, hey, listen, these bolt separations are 9 3/4 wide. You can stick a lot of hardware inside of here. So that's where your cylinder's going to go. But be mindful, you'll need to lay that out where all these holes are supposed to be. I generally find that there's not an increase in cost to position that cylinder somewhere other than what the template says, but don't take it for granted that it wouldn't cost more. We do have to get that quoted, or at least reviewed. We are dealing with, on these bolts, 1/4-20. Here are the fasteners. Short little 1/4-20. I'm certainly going to say 3/16 stainless with finish washers or countersunk washers. Those will go through the door on the interior side, surface mount. So certainly this is not being mated next to an exit device, because I would think you're going to want to think through what fastener you'll be using. A head case of an exit device to conclude that it's 1/4-20, I would say no, you have to determine that as well. These bolts might have to get moved around depending on the application. The rest of the template doesn't give us really any other important information. They are certainly handed when you put a cylinder hole into it. If there's no cylinder hole, there would be no reason they would be handed, so be mindful of that. And that wraps up the template that's there. A good quality company Trimco is in terms of their hardware. I'm a big fan of their hardware because I've reviewed lots of it, and I find that the fit and finish of the material when you take it out of the packaging just makes a bold statement. The statement that their hardware makes when it comes out of the packaging is this: we are a professional outfit that manufactures very high quality finished hardware. And that's my opinion of them. They're a manufacturer. They make things to order. Some things they stock, but because they're a manufacturer, there's always a lead time involved, so please plan accordingly. While they don't, while their lead time is generally 3 weeks, I can tell you that their material is always well worth the wait. Finally, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Trimco products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. If you have any questions on the Trimco 1097 HA anti-vandal trim handle or any other Trimco product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.